All right, everyone. Thank you for being part of Explore Building Trades 2023 in this career chat. Right now, all attendees are muted, but we encourage you to use the chat function to ask questions or share comments. Educators, please drop your school, class name, and number of students in the chat. This session is scheduled for 15 minutes, and we've got a list of questions for our guests, but we welcome yours. We want to have a thank you to all our sponsors for 2023's Explore Building Trades, including our premier partner, St. Joseph Valley Building Trades Association. You can find the full list of partners on the Building Trades landing page, along with many resources we hope you'll check out to learn more about the wide variety of building trade careers and education pathways in our region, the products they create, and the exciting careers available. I'm Reagan Ward, the Education Workforce Coordinator at the Chamber, and I'm excited to welcome Matt LaFree, the Executive Director of NECA, as our guest for this chat. Let's get started.
Yeah.
All right, so Matt, tell me a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What's involved in your position, and how did you get to where you are today?
Yeah, so I'm South Bend, born and raised. So I went to Riley, ended up at Purdue after that, moved to Indy, and then made my way back home. Mostly sales and finance is my background. Kind of got started with the electrical side and the association side by luck. So I'll be honest, it was family, so that never helps to get a leg up. But I was very fortunate to land right back here in my backyard. So I oversee the 11 counties in Northwest and North Central Indiana, as well as a couple in Southwest Michigan. And I represent the employers that employ all of the union electrical workers in those 13 counties.
So what was your major in college, and does that relate to anything at all to what you're doing today?
It was a business degree from the College of Agriculture. So yes and no, but yeah, it was a business management degree.
Gotcha. Thank you. So
Yeah.
I know you mentioned in our little getting ready chat that you're starting to do work with solar. Can you just kind of give like an overview about what it is, how to get involved in that?
Yeah, so we've got several solar projects that are popping up all over West and North Central Indiana. Most notably, there's the Honeysuckle project that's starting in New Carlisle on the western part of St. Joe County. There's some other ones that are slated to possibly be coming in southern St. Joe County, northern Marshall County, and some in Elkhart. And point is, there's a lot of solar projects coming up, and that's as simple as if you're 18 years and of age and want to get involved. We've got a couple different avenues to come in, come talk to. You'll have my contact information, I believe, or I'll get you in touch with our apprenticeship director or the local union business manager, and we can get you on any of those sites to kind of build, I guess, what the future of our production is.
So what are like the basic qualifications for that? Do you need a high school diploma? Do you need a college degree? Do you need an associate's? Do you need any certificates? Like, can you walk me through that process?
Yeah, so to join the apprenticeship, yes, you'll need a high school degree and some background in math. Some of the other projects that we have, if you want to start like on a solar project or doing some other things that aren't necessarily the full-on apprenticeship right off the bat, you don't necessarily need all that. And so you can come in, and as long as you've got a work ethic and you're 18 years old, that's the law. We can't go younger than that. So that's the state of Indiana. But yeah, as long as you have a work ethic and you don't mind getting dirty a little bit. Obviously, the solar projects, you're standing in a cornfield, whether it's 40 and rainy, or like yesterday, if it's raining too much, obviously we'll keep you out of the mud, but hopefully it's 75 and sunny, but sometimes it's 30 and snowing. So
gotcha. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So what's the best part of your job? Like, why do you go to work every morning?
It's something new every day. I do this, I guess it's been a few years now, but it's one time, it's just something that you kind of think about what you're doing. But it's something new all the time. So whether it's, I have to travel a lot for work and go to different conferences and different continuing education things, whether I'm dealing with contract negotiation or God forbid something happened on a job site and we have to kind of go investigate and make sure everything is okay. It's just something that it's something new all the time. And that really suited me. That was, it's sales and finance like I had before, but it's sales to a specific group of people, and finance is kind of like running my own business, honestly, but it's my members' money.
Yeah. So I guess kind of following up on something you said earlier, what kind of soft skills does someone need to be in an apprenticeship?
To be in the apprenticeship, emotional intelligence is always one of the big ones that I preach, I think, in any job. But, it's always been kind of something that's male dominated, white dominated. and that's just not the case anymore. And so there's several different avenues that, maybe it used to be that was, you would go to a powerhouse, go to the nuclear plant in Southwest Michigan. And there was a lot of brawn and stuff that was necessary. Now it's brains, it's finesse, and the people that come with those positions aren't necessarily the big burly men that used to do this job all the time. And so having the ability to interact with those guys and understand that where they're coming from, but also the new era, if you will, of people, being able to kind of meld the two, I think is good for, obviously, as an apprentice, but then as you come up through, you're going to be the one that people seek out to kind of get advice and lean on for different things.
Yeah, thank you. Can you kind of walk us through like an average day for an apprentice? Like, what does that look like?
You go to work 8 hours a day, and that might be the job sites all vary. So it may be at the solar farm, it may be in a data center somewhere, and it's nice and climate controlled and nice, and it's inside. Sometimes it's going to be brand new construction, the hotel, the casino, the southwest part of South Bend, any of that stuff, and the kind of work all varies. And so it could be a lot of carrying heavy material. It could be, like I said, finesse, little Ethernet cables and things like that you're pulling through. And then you've got school. You've got to go to school. It's usually slated for 4 hours at night. I can tell you, it doesn't always go 4 hours. So it can be tiresome. You've got 8 hours of work in the day and then 4 hours at night, depending. But again, you're making a living wage with benefits the entire time that you're doing it. So that's something that we pride ourselves on as a sub 20-year-old to be able to make as much money as some 30 plus.
Yeah. So what kind of classes do you take if you're an apprentice?
You're going to have all the different kind of theory behind electricity, of course, all that. A lot of stuff that you take from high school right into is all your math. So where it's calculus or algebra and problem solving, just general things like that. The actual specific classes, once you get in there, it kind of depends on what route you want to take. If you're going to build a house, you probably don't need to know the same things that you do to build or maintain a nuclear facility. So it just depends on what people are looking for. And again, whether it's residential or low voltage, high voltage, you can propel out of helicopters and fix the big power lines going across the country. So it's just a matter of what you fancy.
And what kind of pathways are there? I know you just briefly touched on that, but can you kind of expand on that?
Yeah, so we always identify them as low voltage, medium voltage, and high voltage. And so low voltage is anything from security cameras to data networking and hooking up Wi-Fi, all that kind of stuff. There's also medium voltage, which is houses, could be a commercial building, a casino, a hotel, all that kind of thing. You go to a hospital and they may have your nurse call, your fire sensors and all that kind of stuff. And then there's the high voltage, which is power plant, either construction or maintenance. You've got all when there's big storms down south or tornadoes across the center of the country, someone's got to go fix all that. And so whether you're doing it from a truck and a boom from the road, or like I said, people will literally propel down from helicopters and they fly to these job sites because you're in the middle of the Rocky Mountains or whatever, and somebody's got to fix that stuff and you just can't get there on a truck.
So would you say there's a lot of traveling with this type of job?
As much as you want. So if work is great here, I can tell you don't have to leave St. Joe County or Northern Indiana to go find it. And so if you want adventure though, we're all union employers. And so you can take your education, go work for any local union area in the country, and they'll put you to work wherever you want. So as much as you'd like.
Gotcha. Thank you. Do you have any like key takeaways for all those tuning in? Like 3 main points that you just want to get across?
I think the main thing is, don't be afraid to work. I know sometimes it's always more glamorous, I guess, to kind of take, I know people want to be influencers and things like that, and that's great. I think the world needs people and creative types, but there are people that want to build stuff with their hands. And then as you drive past it on the road, you can look out and say, hey, I helped with that. So, be okay with work and be okay with taking pride in something that you did. Don't shy away from taking pride in that and let people get you down. I know some people will kind of take that route and knock you down to say, I did blue collar work. Well, I did blue collar work, and I'm glad I did.
What are you most proud of in your job right now?
I represent like 8,000 families between the employers and the people we employ. And so being able to say that we're all doing okay and we've all got the benefits that we need and the living wage, I help facilitate that to some extent. So I think that's something I take great pride in.
Yeah, I mean, I would too. That's absolutely fantastic. How does the future look for electrical workers? Like, is it something that's booming or?
Yeah, I'd say, no pun intended, but the future is bright. I mean, everyone needs electricity, and now you look at, solar is one thing.
Mhm.
Of course, the wind farms, it's come and gone, but it's also still here. They're going up all over the place. But you look at electric vehicles, that's not going anywhere. It's only getting
Mhm.
more prevalent, and just everything that kind of goes with the green movement is kind of electricity based as opposed to petroleum based. And so
Yeah.
that's something that we're going to be a part of. We hope to be a part of. And we're going to need as many hands on deck to fill those voids.
Yeah. So kind of going back to electric vehicles, is that something that you have like a course on, just like batteries and stuff like that? Or is that just
So
something
there's
that you kind of
actually
have to explore?
certifications currently. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Or is that just something you kind of have to explore like out of class?
You'll be, I guess it depends on your employer. So if your employer doesn't necessarily want to go into that type of work, you have the freedom to move, of course, employers. But that's currently not something we do at the apprenticeship because it is something that is government regulated. And so you'll get a certification through it's EVITP, and off the top of my head, I can't think of what that stands for, but you can do some research if you'd like to look that up, and you get certified, your employer gets certified, and then you would get certified, and then you're the one that goes out and installs the e-chargers, and whether it's at home or on a parking lot or whatever, they'll kind of walk you through the different styles of charging.
Gotcha. Thank you. Very informative.
Yeah.
Now we're going to open up the chat to any questions for educators or students. If you have any, go ahead and type them up and drop them in, and we'll do our best to answer them. I guess Matt will, not me. I don't know anything about electricity. And we'll just wait a moment to see if anybody has any questions. All right, so we got Mishawaka High School asking, when do you need to apply to be an apprentice?
You can apply anytime. I will say they'll kind of do the interviews and all year long, but then the classes actually start kind of concurrent with the regular school schedule. So you'd start like in August or something, kind of like college.
Gotcha. And do you have to go into somewhere to apply? Or do you do it online? Do you have to call someone? Like, what's that process like?
Yep, you can go online and get the application, but you actually take it to our apprenticeship. It's off of Western Avenue, just west of the bypass if you're leaving downtown. You take it in and you talk to our apprenticeship director, and he'll get it in front of the trustees and everything that oversee the apprenticeship fund. And then, so like I said, they can apply anytime. School starts in August, but again, there are other avenues to come in and kind of get some work hours under your belt before you actually get into the class portion of the apprenticeship.
Gotcha. Thank you. And then we have another question from Chad Addy. What would you recommend for younger students, like 14 or 15-year-olds, to focus on to prep for being an apprentice?
That is actually a great question, because the sooner that you start thinking about what your future is, and if that's what you decide, 100% start kind of going that route. And whether it's math, science, things like that, the classes you can take, just like being a doctor or a lawyer, if you think that's the avenue that you want to take, you're going to start kind of taking math classes, science classes, things like that. And so same thing, chemistry and math, all those things kind of apply. And so the more you can take, if you have your core classes you have to take, but any kind of electives, definitely steer towards math and science, and kind of keep your mind that direction.
Gotcha. So STEM, absolutely helpful.
100%, yeah, every time.
All right. Do we have any more questions? Any more? Well, it looks like that might have been the last question. So thank you, Matt, for talking to us today. Students, be sure to check out our Building Trades career chats. We'll be adding to the landing page to learn more from other employers, educators, and community partners. Sorry, my screen is not working right now. But yeah, make sure you check out everything on our landing page, and we hope that you'll tune in for our future career chats. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. See you guys.
All right. Bye-bye.